Hey guys, Ludgonious here with Ludi and Ludgotti.
Come on, guys.
Go.
Time for another Inside the Episode.
Inside the episode.
Today we're going to be talking about the Caligavit Nebula, which is Season 7, Episode 1. It opens up Season 7. The nebula is this like navigational hazard. Okay, so the crew, they're trying to go to this place called the Ferex Cluster. They're going to do a whole series of episodes there, but they have to go through this nebula first. The nebula is like impassable. There's too much debris. There's too many it's like protoplanets and other things that you can't travel through hyperspace.
Yeah.
Most people don't go to the Ferex Cluster because it's such a dangerous place, so it's not really a worry. They just take the Caligavit run, which is a hyperspace route, just to go around it.
Yep.
But Doog and his crew, obviously they got to go.
Yeah, it's his job, so.
So since they can't take the Magellan through their ship, the Magellan, they're going to take a ferry. So they stop off at the space station at the start of the nebula.
Yep.
And
They have to get. They
yeah,
have to dock up their boat, or their boat. They have to dock up their ship at the.
yeah. The ferry actually it could carry people like individuals, or like you can bring your ship with you.
Yeah.
And they need to bring their ship because they're going to go to multiple places within this cluster once they get through the nebula. So it's kind of funny when they get there that if you've seen some of the other episodes, Oldie, the director, is really like a penny pincher.
Right.
He's worried about retirement, and like the Doog's always wasting all their money and everything. So like a few times it's kind of screwed him over. Oldie makes like the cheapest arrangements possible.
Yeah.
You know, like one episode I think he signs him up to be in the pig pen for the whole ride.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, he's complaining about it like when he gets it. It's funny though too. Like on a side note, there when he's actually getting their tickets, they ask him about the cargo. They're like, "What kind of cargo are you taking on your? Do you have on your ship and stuff?" And he was like, "Well, no cargo. We're actually a TV crew." And she's like, "Oh, really? You guys are on TV? What are you on?" And he was like, "LIU Alice or something." She's like, "Oh, never heard of you." Yeah. That's kind of funny.
So yeah, Doog makes sure that he's with Oldie while they're making arrangements to sign him. Because even after that, I think Oldie's like, well, is there any kind of janitorial duties we could do while we're on the ferry?
Yeah.
Or...
Yep.
So they talk Oldie into paying like the full price so they can ride along on the ferry with the Magellan without having to do any kind of chores or anything. The name of the ferry is called the Charon.
Yep.
I think that's how you say it. It's based off the ferryman from like Greek mythology, where he takes the people into hell across the river. Yeah. So if this ship's a ferry as well, and it takes people to the Ferex Cluster, which is kind of like a really dangerous hell-like place. So it's kind of like alludes to that.
Right.
The Charon is like the specialized ship. You can't travel in hyperspace, so the ship has like really powerful sublight engines, so you can go really fast without actually going like faster than the speed of light. It's got really heavy armor to protect against all the debris and stuff.
Yep.
And it's probably like the biggest part of the episode, the build for that. One of the reasons we're doing this inside the episode is because we just got done building another big ship for our newest one, and just
thought it was right.
It felt right to
It fits the theme.
right.
Yeah.
So once they're on the ferry, like usual, they leave Hugo, the pilot, behind with Timbo, the editor. They don't ever let them usually go on any adventures or anything. So they are actually fueling up the Magellan with the ferry, so that's costing even more money. A cool side note in that little hangar scene while they're fueling up the Magellan is there's another ship right next to the Magellan, and that actually belongs to Trebax. He's going to be Doog's guide for the whole Ferex Cluster, so he's in like the next four or five episodes after that. He's in it.
Yeah, he is.
And you can kind of see him walking in the background in one of the scenes on this one. So you don't know him in this episode, but you'll if you keep watching the episodes afterwards, he becomes a big part of it.
I like too just how it's kind of the LIU way, but everything costs money. Like obviously, I could see how it costs money to fill up your ship and stuff with fuel, but they also have a rent-a-bed, which I thought was pretty funny, and that's actually something that Oldie wanted to actually do. He's real tight with money on everything else, but when he found out that he could take a nap, he was all for
willing to do it.
Yeah,
it's like you had me at nap.
Yeah.
So the crews even dwindle down like even farther. They go to this they're kind of disappointed because this ferry's supposed to have like all these amenities, and all it really has is like this really expensive like coffee snack shop or whatever. But it does have one cool feature, and that's like this observation deck. The ferry makes like several small jumps, and in between certain jumps, they actually open up this observation deck, and you can just get like beautiful views of the nebula. Or whatever. Since the nebula has a star cluster in the middle, it like these bright stars in the middle really like light up the gases of the nebula, and it's like this really bright color. Yeah. If you look at the pictures of how we did the nebula too, it's just like translucent Lego pieces. We had it like laid out on the table, shot it from above, and just did like some creative editing. So like the nebula background itself is actually Lego. If you look close, I mean,
yeah, that's
which
one
is
of my,
super. Yeah,
one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, you can see it right here. I mean, like just the.
Yeah. So they opened up the observation deck, and they're kind of looking out there. I think Doog actually gets rejected. He tries to hold the female guide's hand.
Yeah.
It was like a romantic moment. You know, he thought it was at least.
He's never been lucky with the ladies.
Yeah, no.
He's done got much game.
So after he gets rejected, they notice that there's other like ships floating around out in the nebula. There's like a whole support crew of ships that accompany the Charon whenever it goes anywhere. It's got like space tugs.
Yeah.
They got like repulsor rings, so they can kind of like, you know, like a tugboat would move a normal boat while it's coming into harbor. These things adjust the Charon, so it could travel through the nebula without crashing into stuff. And they also got kind of like a bulldozer ship. I don't remember what exactly it was called, but
yeah, I mean it's pretty cool looking. You can see like the two that's
got like two
rings on the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see here. And
and also like those rings pull off the side. I think there's like a robotic arm on the bottom of it, so it can even pick up larger stuff. So that the space tug orients the ship, and these bulldozers like clear stuff out of the way.
Yeah.
It's the only way that anybody could ever make it to the Pharaoh cluster. And I think in the episode that alludes that like pirates and stuff and smugglers, like they go through, you know, the nebula themselves. It's a little more dangerous, but they're risky kind of people, and they're trying to avoid the law and everything else. So.
It's a good way to do it though. Is going through there.
Yeah.
So you kind of stay out of.
Only other thing that they find throughout the nebula are these like large cylinders. They're kind of like these gravity. I don't even know how anchor points, I guess. And they're actually building a route through the nebula. So one of these days, it'll be opened up for everybody to travel through. You won't need a ferry anymore or whatever.
Which that'll be pretty cool.
But I liked how in the episode the guide is kind of talking about like, you know, way back in the olden days, even before the ferry, like there was people that had to find a way to get through that thing. A lot of people like died exploring that and trying to find a route through there.
But it's just like anything in like history of man, you know, like
exploration.
People, yeah. I mean, it's
the first people got to like pave the way for everybody
manifest
else.
destiny, you know, like
yeah. So I like the episode. It's a introduction to this whole series of the Ferox cluster, like we said before. It's one of the more interesting segments of LIU Atlas. I really like, you know, it's more of this like dangerous, secluded section of the galaxy that the LIU doesn't have like real firm control of.
right. Yeah.
They control it, but there's no like presence there.
It's like the Wild West.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Of LIU, the galaxy.
So this episode just kind of opens that all up. There's a few other where they go to nebulas, but this is the only one that like kind of really the nebula plays a big part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else got anything?
That's about it.
Yeah, that wraps it up.
Check it out.
Yeah. So we'll put the link to this episode directly down in the comments or down in the description, and we'll also put a link to Ludgonious.com where there's hundreds of episodes just like this one.
Yeah. And it's the first one we've done of the most current season.
7.
Yeah, the current season we're on. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you thought of this episode. Check it out. And we'll see you guys later.